heated war of words and also digs that the lawyers are taking. But the fact of the matter is that the court also has stepped in and spoken about laundering, say that it's not really our fault. What do we do if there is laundering during elections, in the eve of elections? But the insistence in Rajit here of the TMC's lawyer in court, of Mamata Banerjee's lawyer in court, is on the matter, which he says should be heard by the Calcutta High Court. Isn't that is a consistent demand that is being made?
Well, that's right. As Nalini just pointed out, it does, seem from the kind of arguments and the line of argument that Kapil Sibal is making that they would rather prefer, the Trinamool Congress or the West Bengal government would rather prefer the case be heard at the Calcutta High Court. And because they believe that perhaps they might get a favorable, judgment in favor of them. Now, of course, the Trinamool Congress's main point before the Apex Court also is the timing of the raids, Enforcement Directorate, because as Munish just said, this is a case that began in 2020. And since then, the Enforcement Directorate has been, conducting its investigation. If the Enforcement Directorate had information and sufficient evidence to probe IPAC as an organization, which also, interestingly, is the poll strategist of the Trinamool Congress. So there are two questions that comes obviously, and that is what the Trinamool Congress and its counsel would harp in court. One is why now? The timing, if the enforcement director were already, if IPAC was already in the enforcement directorate scanner, why did such raids not take place last year, 2023, 2024? Why in 26, just months ahead of the West Bengal Assembly election, is a question that the ED must answer. And that is
Right.
also something which is playing out politically in West Bengal, because the
Of
Trinamool
course.
Congress, it's fighting this battle, two-pronged battle. One is in the court, where Kapil Sibal is, appearing for the TMC, and one on the ground, the perception battle. And Mamata Banerjee and the Trinamool Congress are already out on the streets, and they are trying to play the victim card, saying it is the BJP which is using the central agencies to steal their political blueprint, election blueprint, because they can't fight them in the polls. This is the
That's right.
narrative that the Trinamool Congress is going ahead with.
A
Back
quick
to you.
update really from the Supreme Court. I'm going to go across to Nalini in just a moment on that. But before that, coming to you, Munish, I'll quickly take that update. Singhvi now appearing for the state of West Bengal and arguing that the prayers are identical, so this matter should be heard by the Calcutta High Court. They cannot ride two horses is what is being said. Coming to you, to Nalini, to elaborate on that. But before that, a quick word from Munish. For our viewers, Munish, this is a case involving IPAC, an organization that has been associated with many other political parties, like it has been associated with the Trinamool Congress. For our viewers, do explain what really is the case that the IPAC has found itself embroiled in, which is getting deeply investigated by the ED. And it's not a new one, it's since 2020, isn't it? Take us to those details. Munish.
Well, Sneha, this is a case which was investigated by the Enforcement Directorate on the basis of court orders. It is a coal coal smuggling scam, in which there are multiple individuals who have been investigated by the Enforcement Directorate so far. Anup Majhi is one of the prime accused who, who has also been investigated by the Enforcement Directorate. In this very same case, Abhishek Banerjee was questioned twice by the ED in 2022. Now the main allegations, why, coming back to your question, why IPAC is under investigation by the ED and why they decided to conduct searches at the premises linked to Pratik Jain and IPAC. Now, according to the Enforcement Directorate, they have evidence of over 20 crores of transaction linked to Anup Majhi, the other accused in coal smuggling, and IPAC. ED claims that through Hawala operators, more than 20 crore were given to IPAC during the Goa elections in 2022. They got another evidence of more than 10 crore rupees of transactions through other Hawala operators, and that is why IPAC is under scanner of the Enforcement Directorate. Now, ED claims that this is not a political case, and they have given a statement also, Sneha, which is rare, as far as ED or CBI, these agencies are concerned. They have given a statement saying that it is not a political case. This is a clear-cut case of money laundering. When they found involvement of, IPAC, the transaction details are of more than 20 crore rupees. When they got the evidence, then they decided to conduct searches at IPAC. This case should not be linked politically. But when the matter reached before the High Court and today what's happening at the Supreme Court, it is something which the ED is trying to, trying to convince the court that this is a case which is non-political. This is a clear-cut case of money laundering, and that is why under Section 17 of Prevention of Money Laundering Act, which empowers the Enforcement Directorate to conduct searches at any premises where they think or where they have believe that there might be some evidence. Pratik Jain is one of a prime accused at this point of time, we can say. He will be summoned. Later on, ED will decide whether to arrest him or not. But according to ED, they believe that there are evidence at the premises linked to Pratik Jain and IPAC, and that is why searches were conducted. But what is happening today in Supreme Court, ED is trying to prove their point that this case was completely legal, the searches were legal, there was nothing linked to there was nothing political in this case. But at the same time, the councils representing Mamata Banerjee and West Bengal government, they are giving it a political color, saying that when ED decided to do nothing for 3 hours, why suddenly, just before the election, they woke up and decided to conduct searches at the premises, which is also linked to, TMC in a way that they are managing the elections for the Trinamool Congress in West Bengal. Sneha.
That's right. Munish, be with us. I'm also going to get in a quick update from Nalini, who's on standby. Of course, Shrishti continues to get us those updates from inside court. Nalini, Abhishek Manu Singhvi making those arguments on behalf of the Trinamool Congress there. Take us through what exactly he has said as of now.
Sneha, the main argument that is being made by Abhishek Manu Singhvi, and just to clarify to our viewers, he is representing the state of West Bengal and Mamata Banerjee in this case, as in her capacity as a chief minister. What he is telling the Supreme Court essentially is that ED is trying to do something called forum shopping, which essentially means that ED is trying to see which is going to be a suitable forum for them to make their case to ensure that they can get a favorable order. Why is Singhvi saying this? Singhvi is saying that first the ED approached the Calcutta High Court for a hearing against the state of West Bengal. Even before the hearing could happen in Calcutta High Court, ED filed another petition before the Supreme Court asking the Supreme Court to take up the matter. And the prayers in both these petitions were very similar. So he is saying that ED is trying to ride on two separate horses. They cannot be allowed to do forum shopping. And the High Court, which is already seized of the matter, should hear the matter. Because after filing the petition in Supreme Court also, ED still went on to make their case and argue on preliminary grounds before the Calcutta High Court during the hearing yesterday. So this goes on to show that ED is indulging in something called forum shopping, as is being alleged by Senior Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi. He's stating that this should not be allowed and that the ED should in fact go back to the Calcutta High Court and make their arguments there first. He's also going ahead and saying that nobody is denying the fact that Mamata Banerjee was present there. But in case Mamata Banerjee was present there and ED was trying to steal the political data and Mamata Banerjee restrained them from doing so, then what is the issue in that? He's also going ahead and saying that all of this is being done where ED is now approached the Supreme Court on an urgent basis without proper intimation to the other parties, where through a casual email they had informed the TMC in the state of West Bengal that this petition has been filed, the copy of which was given to them only this morning, as early as this morning. There was no copy given to them even in advance to be able to prepare their arguments. And an email sent at 11:30 a.m. this morning. The email sent at 11:30 a.m. on the 8th of Jan. They are talking about the searches and the raids that were conducted by the ED. They said that at 6 a.m. is when the ED started conducting the search, and at 11:30 a.m. they sent an email, which is 5 hours after it, stating that the search has started and to cover the track and to create a paper trail of this entire case. So allegations being made not only on behalf of the West Bengal government but also TMC. Remember, Kapil Sibal solicitors appearing for Mamata Banerjee in her individual capacity, Senior Advocate Abhishek Manu Singhvi appearing for the West Bengal government, and Mamata Banerjee as the CM of the state. And at the same time, Solicitor General Tushar Mehta is appearing for the Enforcement Directorate and the Centre before the Supreme Court, where he is making allegations of theft against the sitting Chief Minister, of obstruction with the functioning of the central agency, and he's also asking for the CBI probe to be conducted
by Abhishek Manu Singhvi on why Mamata Banerjee was accompanied by the police. A Z-class protectee, he says, and of course nobody denying that she indeed was there at Pratik Jain's. I'm going to leave it at that for the moment. Munish Pandey, Nalini, also in Rajit and Tapas tracking that big story, and of course Shrishti getting in those details from the Supreme Court. It's one of our top focus stories right here. Details are the same.